This episode is educationally spicy.
Hi, I'm Kevin Edgety Kemp.
And I'm Trevor Reverse Cowboy Dow.
And this is VTV,
the definitive podcast for all things LGBT travel,
pop culture,
and where we share diverse perspectives from members within our community.
Hi, Trevor. How are you doing?
Well, speaking of edging, I'm on the edge of my seat because today's episode is quite tantalizing, I will say.
It is. We have two people who are very versed, pun intended, in physical interactions, in romantic connections, Tantra, and who work for Vakaya.
On today's episode, we delve into an interview with Steve Rodriguez and Will Tantra. Will, on our Mexico resort trip, led actually a few workshops in regards to Tantra and sexual intimacy. And Steve is one of our RLD facilitators. One, they're extremely open in this interview.
So sweet.
Yeah, so sweet. And they have great chemistry together. And I feel like the interview just encapsulates what Vakaya's hope is for consent and sexuality and sex progressiveness. And they really get that.
And if you've ever been curious about Tantra in general, this is a great episode for you to kind of like understand what that process is, because I learned a lot in this interview because I didn't know what that was.
Well, and also I feel like, one of your turn-ons is this idea of edging, which how would you even describe edging? Like, what to you is edging?
Well, for me, it's grounded in this idea of feeling seen and listened to, because it's like anticipating your release and then taking it back. It's constant like being seen for like as long as as the other person wants. So you're also submitting control, allowing the process to just be what the process is.
And I think for a lot of people, edging is like one thing, but more explorative. Explorative, yeah. It can be a little bit more explorative.
And what's yours?
Reverse cowboy. I just love that position because my favorite part of the human body
is the butt.
Is not necessarily the butt. It's the part right above the butt where the little curve is.
Oh.
My God. Like that to me, I mean, like I love a face, but that part that's like the lower
it's beautiful.
back, the tailbone to me is just like, and I don't even know what it's called. I can
a
probably
shelf?
just look it up. Like, I don't care if someone has a big butt. In fact, it's actually sometimes easier if someone doesn't have a big, not that like if you got a big butt, call me. But like,
what's easier?
Doing all the things that you want to do to that little butt. I want to massage it. I want to kiss it. Like, I just want to hold it. I love
it's sweet. It's tender. It's innocent. It's beautiful.
And I feel like it's just a part of the body that isn't like valued as much. And so I kind of like that aspect. Part of my kink is like, I get joy out of seeing my partner find joy. So however that is, to me feels really enjoyable.
Sexy.
Yeah, and sexy. So if you don't know what the RLD is, if you're new, the RLD is kind of Vakaya's sex progressive space. So it's usually open from like 10 to 2, and it's a place where people can go and kind of explore. If they can't in their room or they can't somewhere else, like they can go to this space with someone that they've met on the trip, or they can go in by themselves and see who they might meet. And it's kind of a safe space to consensually explore with other people and explore with yourself.
And I find that groundbreaking in the sense of like, for so long you had to suppress that feeling in general. And like, it was so shamed to be that. And then you're carved into this vacation experience of being able to just be, to be in that authenticity of like enjoying somebody. It's like segmented in a way that's like, okay, the party's here, and then over here is like a space that designed for this connection, as opposed to like
further the connection.
Yeah, as opposed to like other gay spaces seems to like not talk about that line.
Yeah,
when we have a clear like a celebration of that line of like, oh, over here is where you can like show up and show out.
Yeah, totally. Have you been to the RLD?
I have.
Okay, and what's your experiences been?
I kind of just like seeing what's happening, but I like bringing someone there that I would want to like kind of have that connection with. So then it's an anchor to feel safe to explore and also kind of like just see what happens.
Yeah, totally.
What I like about the voyeur aspect of, because some of these experiences of the RLD that Vakaya puts on celebrates an aspect of voyeurism.
Yeah, for sure.
It is so fascinating to see like how people decide to interact with each other or not. And
Yeah, totally.
it can be sexy. It can be just like stimulating, fascinating.
Yeah.
So like, strongly suggest at the very least, if you're on one of these vacations, to just like peruse yourself.
Yeah, totally. And it's, I feel like we have guests who are so against it the first day. And then by like day 4, they're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe I should go. And that's part of the beauty of, I think, what Vakaya offers is cultivating a sense of community where you can explore and feel safe to do that and not feel shame around it, which we all have some sort of sexual shame. It's just part of the queer experience because we're not traditionally supposed to feel this way or
Yeah.
express all the
Not even just in this
ourselves way.
country, but around the world.
Yeah. We should jump into this interview with Will and Steve because we really have some great conversations.
Let's check in with Steve and Will.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to a very spicy interview. We've got a couple of very fantastic guests with us that are very close to the Vakaya family. Would you both please introduce yourselves, your pronouns, and kind of what you're doing here at Vakaya during the Mexico resort trip?
Yes. Hi. My name is Will Tantra, and my pronouns are he, him. And I'm a sex and intimacy coach in Los Angeles. And I'm here at Vakaya, my second time around, to teach Tantra.
Yes. Round 2, baby.
And a little naked yoga.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Steve V. Rodriguez. My pronouns are he, him. I am the host, creator of Tags Podcast, otherwise known as Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. And I'm here with Vakaya. Been on the inaugural cruise, but now I'm here to run the red light district, and I'm excited.
Yes. I want to ask you so many questions about that.
Absolutely.
Get into it.
Should we just get right in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like the people want to, deep dive.
I just want to generally ask, how has it been, this trip in Mexico?
Really good. So the space is intimate. It is, last night we were a little afraid because we're in the tropics. It's October, so rain is going to happen. It started to rain at the beginning of my shift, but the boys, everybody was rain or shine. We had umbrellas to actually like hold for people at times. People were getting really creative on, oh wait, I'll hold it while I go down here and I'll hold it. And so, I mean, people still need to get their sex groove on even in the rain. So
yeah, rain or shine.
I was really impressed. Yeah.
Do you mean like in the actual red light district or holding umbrellas?
Yes. So where we're at, can we say the name of the place
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
Mahicao.
Yeah.
They have like these great, hotel resorts have great umbrellas. They're perfect for 2-3 people to cover you up. And we were like going to shut it down early, but absolutely not. It was literally rain or shine. And we stayed till closing time, which about 1:45, 2 a.m. So, yeah.
Wow.
But to answer your original question, yes, people are really receptive for it. I think when Vakaya offers a space that is for sex progressiveness, I think that just legitimizes sex. It takes the stigma out of sex. It says that, no one's going to talk about it at breakfast tomorrow. You're safe here. It's a safe space. There's things like slings or benches. You can have fun. You can observe if you're just a voyeur. And we have those that come in and come out.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's a positive experience.
Yeah. Well, and have you been in the red light district before on either trips or?
I have.
Okay.
Indeed.
And do you feel a similar way about that space kind of just offers its own, it feels like its own little world all of a sudden?
Absolutely. Yeah, especially the way Steve has designed this space, it's super intimate, super sexy, just beautiful lighting, cool videos. And just
fun.
really a space where you want to kind of let loose and be free.
And you feel comfortable enough to do that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it's very body positive and sex positive. So people feel they feel welcomed and invited regardless of age, shape, size, and race. Like everybody's welcome
And gender.
to play.
Like,
and gender.
Yeah.
which is, I feel like, so, and hopefully won't be the case for much longer, but a unique experience that it is, a lot of spaces still occupied by people that look like us, but to be in an environment where if you aren't a cis male, but you can enjoy that or experience it or at least experiment in it.
And feel safe enough to do so. I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's congratulations to both of you on making that happen.
Well, we appreciate Vakaya because Vakaya is setting a standard for sex progressiveness. And it's events like the Red Light District that are open and available and advertised and encouraged rather than hidden in the darkness or sneaking around. It's like, no, please come. We'll hold an umbrella over you when it's raining even.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing I was going to say is in the States currently, there's not a lot of spaces that you can go to that are sex progressive. And so a lot of people are on this vacation, they want to let loose, and there's other companies that don't offer this kind of space.
Right.
And it's a really great time to explore your sexuality. And believe it or not, most of us are really young in our sexual growth and our sexuality. And we need spaces like this. And so, not all of us can go to Europe all the time. And so it's really great to have a space that is inclusive for so many of our American audiences, but the Europeans get it, the Latin Americans get it. So it's really cool.
Also the patience, I imagine, for pace of like getting to understand, like, if that's a new space for you, like, how do these cues work? How do I receive that cue? How do I interact with it? Like, I feel like so much to learn.
You in your class gave a really good pamphlet in his Tantra workshop about kind of the do's and don'ts not do's and don'ts, but kind of protocol, like certain generations are comfortable from the 80s and 90s of just touching other people and not asking for consent. And you could talk more about that, but...
Yeah, it's important, especially in these spaces, to discuss your boundaries and consent and preferences. Even though it's a sexual space where people might be naked, that is not an invitation just to touch. And we coached just to, at the minimum, get eye contact, consent, but preferably use your words.
Yeah.
And we gave them a list of questions just to start a conversation around your preferences and boundaries that you have, just so that you can help everybody feel comfortable, build chemistry, and then have a really satisfying and successful interaction there.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Patrick, and he was talking about a man who he saw outside of the Red Light District who was shy and never been to a space like that. He literally held his hand and walked him inside and gave him some real
permission.
daddy guidance.
Yeah.
That's what daddies are all about, helping to mentor and guide and support as you're exploring new opportunities to express yourself.
Not every queer person, but so many of us have had to suppress X, Y, and Z for so long that you then get to an age where you're almost expected to just kind of know how to navigate these spaces, as opposed to feeling like it's okay to not know, and then also having the place to do that. It's like all of this unlearning while also trying to relearn, and it's always changing. So what you talk about when it comes to like a generation who grew up in the 80s and the 90s is very different than like what I grew up with or whatever. So then we're trying to
There's a lot of disconnect at times, believe it or not. Yeah.
But what's so sexy is when you can get to a place of understanding and consent, and then you can allow yourself to fully feel comfortable.
And also, the more we have these conversations, which is what you're doing, I do it on my show, you do it in your work, the more we're going to normalize sexuality, that you can have these conversations, you can ask these questions, and it's okay. And you are in a safe space. And more people will hear this and actually want to explore. And they'll know, like, to ask certain questions like you are always telling people. So,
and it just makes it hotter.
Yeah, and it makes it hotter in the end.
It does.
Because that's really what we want, right?
Yeah. You want it to be connected.
Right.
So are there a couple of questions that come to mind, like for anybody that's watching or that, might not know or might be like, okay, if I go into a space like this, what is a way that I can go about it?
Absolutely. The first question you had us answer as far as introducing ourselves is, what are your pronouns? I think that's a great way to start. How do you want to be addressed? And simply, what are your preferences? don't assume that a big burly daddy is gonna f your brains out and he's the top, you know?
Baby, a lot of them are
Quite
not.
the opposite.
Yes.
And everybody has parts of their body, it can change day to day, where you don't want to have touched or licked.
Right.
Not everybody's nipples are wired, and you
Right.
come at somebody like that and it can be a complete turnoff. Certain words can be a turnoff. I'm a daddy, I love that, but you call another person a daddy and it's an insult. You know, so asking people, what are your preferences? How do you like to be addressed? What are your yeses and nos on your body today? Because again, that can change. You know, and of course, STI status, super important. You know, in this day and age of PrEP and DoxyPep, you know, a lot of people, you know, we throw caution to the wind and assume everybody has that available to them.
Right.
But for a lot of people, it's condoms only. And you want to
Yes.
have that conversation before you just try to slip something in.
Yes.
And also just being in touch with your senses. In your class yesterday, Will gave a great example of, you know, if you're going to go up to a group of people, let's just say there's 3 guys having some fun over here, and you want to join them, maybe just don't go up to them and start touching them. Just be a voyeur and ask. Like, you actually ask, would you guys mind if I joined in? Would be a great question too. And then you can be a part of the fun too. But not just assuming. Right. Right. Basic language, but there's a whole different protocol and cruising and
That's right.
Well, I feel like I would like to address what I feel like is an elephant sometimes in those types of spaces, which is the concept of like the male urge just to be like, I don't like it.
Yes.
So it's
We
like
all want to jump on it, but
And that's my
when you're attracted to
generation.
something. Yeah.
Mine too.
And
Yeah.
yours too.
Yeah,
That's right.
Right.
He looks a lot younger, so I forget we're the same. We go way back. We were on the gymnastics team together in college.
At UC Berkeley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Absolutely. I know.
Not out of like, no, but just like that you both did gymnastics and you both went to the same college and you both ended up
Yes.
being.
He used to
Here.
when I was in junior high, he was a judge. Didn't you judge
I judged
gymnastics?
and coached.
And I would see him and I was always like, oh, well, I was going to say your name before, but Billy.
Billy.
I was always like, oh my God, Billy's judging me. And I had such a crush on him. And then in college, I would see him riding around in these like hot, short joggers.
The 80s.
And you were
runner shorts.
glistening.
I'm sure.
And I was, my friend and I had such a crush on him, as we still do. But yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so our roots are gymnastics.
Yes,
And
right.
yes, we can still do the
Incredible.
splits.
We can, yes.
Y'all heard it here first, okay?
The
Those
wider
splits-
the legs, the deeper the cock can get.
Absolutely.
So flexibility is key.
Once a gymnast, always a gymnast, and it's come in
right.
good use in our elder years here.
When it
I
comes
love
to
that.
gymnastics, is
Wow.
that like you did floor routine? You did the
Pommel horse rings, parallel bars, what am I
Vault,
missing? Vaults,
high bar.
Yeah.
Balance beam when nobody was looking.
Yeah, right. I know.
and now you're balancing on a different kind of beam at points, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. I had no idea.
blows
That's
my mind.
Were you always in each other's spheres then, or was there a period that
You were a couple years ahead of me, right?
Yes.
And
About 4 years.
yeah,
ahead.
like when I was getting on the team as a freshman, I think
He
you were
was, like,
already
just graduating.
Yeah, right. So
But we knew of each other.
Right,
And he
absolutely.
was such a cute little muscle twink.
right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just
Twink is the key word. I don't know about adorable, but yeah.
Adorable.
So then, did the two of you ever get the chance to interact? Were you out at that point, or I don't know how.
I
don't know.
was like soft out, meaning some of my friends knew.
Sure.
I had a boyfriend.
Wow.
My parents were just kind of learning about it, but at work, no way. I had a very conservative job, and it was a different time then.
Yeah, early 90s.
How about you? Were you-
No, it was early 90s. And the team, believe it or not, a lot of people like to joke, oh, gymnasts, they're probably all gay. Believe me, at least when I was there, 90% were not.
Same.
And,
Wow.
you know, it's that you're on a team, it's freshman year, it's the protocol of acting a certain butch way. I'm using air quotes. And it just was kind of terrifying at times,
Yes.
believe it or not.
Kind of
Yeah.
a frat environment.
Yeah.
Well,
very
you're
much
also
so.
trying to probably
Blend
completely
in.
like do a swap of what people's expectations of are you. So you're trying to be hyper masculine to
Absolutely.
offset everybody else's perspectives of you being
Terrified
like
of being
a
outed.
gymnast and not a
Yes.
football player or whatever.
Correct.
So
Yeah,
that code
that's
switching is
a fair assessment. Yeah, absolutely.
Until the weekend, and San
then-
Francisco was right across the bay.
Oh, yeah.
And we could let it all hang out.
Right.
Do our splits on the dance floor.
Exactly. And then we were both go-go dancers at different times.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So what was it on Vakaya that you then got to see each other again, or when did you enter each other's orbits?
I found out what you were doing regarding Tantra and had him on my show, Tag's Podcast, as a guest. And was so excited to have him on after all these years. And that's how we got connected again.
Yes.
my
Yeah.
And then he helped me get on the cruise,
Right.
Yeah.
the Vakaya cruise.
Yeah.
And
now we're here.
Now
we're here
friends
in front of you.
Yeah.
And how has it been doing Tantra with Vakaya? And then also for the people watching and listening, would you mind just giving like a little brief Sinatra or
Fly me to
Oh,
the
yeah.
moon. Suck my cock.
Should we like go back and forth? Yeah. Let's do it. I could sing with you.
just like suck my
This will be
cock.
good for outtakes. Yeah.
Synopsis of Tantra and like what that really is, because I feel like it's one of those words that a lot of people, especially queer people, have heard, but you know, like the idea or the opinions of it might not be that concrete. And
Sure. Yeah. So Tantra is a spiritual path. It's not a religion. There's no big book of Tantra. So just like if you went to 10 different yoga classes, you would have 10 totally different experiences. 10 different Tantra teachers are going to give you 10 totally different experiences. It is a spiritual path towards enlightenment and inner peace. And those might seem like, ooh, that's kind of a high-reaching goal, but simply means elevating your mood gradually, going with the flow more often. You know, things that bothered me a few years ago just don't bother me as much anymore. Through being more present and in the moment, through meditation and breath work. And I haven't mentioned sex once, right?
yeah, I was
It's
just gonna say.
not a sexual practice like everybody says. In a 24-hour day, if you're practicing Tantra and you're super sexual, how often are you having sex, even if you're a really horny guy? Maybe an hour?
Right.
So the other 23 hours of mindfulness can be practiced. Now, you know, my brand is Tantric Fitness. I teach very practical and explicit sex through video mainly. So I really do resonate with the sexual aspects of Tantra, but Tantra itself is not all about sex. So it can, you know, Tantra can seem kind of mysterious and it's oftentimes misunderstood, but at its core, Tantra is about connection with yourself, with others, and the world around you.
Wow.
What do you think of the term synchronicity as far as it relates to Tantra and someone else, you and somebody else?
So yesterday, I taught an introduction to Tantra class called Foundation of Tantra.
Yeah. I was
He
in it.
was there.
So good.
And I taught 3 of the tantric principles of pleasure, things that you can do that help you get more out of this life experience. And those are breath, making sounds, and moving your body. And we're very natural with that when it comes to the sense of sight. You know, when everybody came to this gorgeous resort, we all went, oh, wow. You know, we're breathing, we're moving towards things that we appreciate. We're talking about it.
Sure.
You know, when we hear our favorite song through our ear sensor, what do we sing?
Right.
That's breath and sound. We dance. That's moving our bodies. But when it comes to touch and intimacy, a lot of times we're quiet and shy and small and closed, because when we were first learning how to masturbate when we were younger, it was quiet and small and quick. Nobody was running out in the living room and bragging, guess what I just discovered?
Yeah,
This
right.
feels amazing, right?
Wow.
So to your question about synchronicity, yesterday we practiced with partners syncing up our breath and our sound and our movements to create harmony with each other and through synchronicity.
Wow.
For the advancement of chemistry, nonverbal communication, and then when things get more intimate, more enhanced pleasure.
And it's such a good prelude for partners or groups that want to play to maybe come off the street and have almost, like you said, a foreplay of that synchronicity that you're saying, but to align yourself and get ready for pleasure primally.
Yes.
And I got so much out of it that I'm going to take back with me with my partner. So,
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, be an animal.
I'm going to be an animal, feral. Yes,
Beast.
a feral animal.
You got the shirt on. You got the right shirt.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do too in here.
Yeah,
I
we
feel
got
like
two
you
of
would.
them.
I feel like
I mean,
you.
got
we're
two
in the
beasts.
tropics here. We're representing. Yeah.
That's right.
I feel like you would be really into it. It's so
Oh,
funny
yeah.
because my interpretation of it was that it was like inherently sexual, which is just maybe the world we live in sexualizing anything and everything, as opposed
Exactly.
to it just being more about the practice of alignment and what that, and then how
Yes.
that translates or can translate into an intimate sexual encounter.
Yes,
Instead of it just
exactly.
being like, no, everyone can benefit from Tantra, and it doesn't have to lead to, yes, we're going to have sex or something.
When you use one of your sensors, eye, ears, nose, tongue, to explore this beautiful environment, it's like a playground, not just here, but the whole world, then you find thoughts of appreciation through those senses. And when you're in those moments of appreciation, it's a little mini meditation. And the more time that we can spend in meditation on appreciation, then the more we attract more of what we're wanting into our lives through that resonance or vibration.
Absolutely.
And I'm one of the people that makes people think Tantra is about sex because of what I do, but I also like to be clear that it's something you can do all day. And
It's a meditative.
yeah, meditating on what you're seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting.
Wow.
And it doesn't always have to be sex.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of a great principle to just carry on in life, especially for me, I struggle a lot in some of these spaces because I don't necessarily move forward with sex being my like
First goal or
yeah, like I kind of am more demisexual or am demisexual in that way. So the idea of what you're talking about resonates in that it makes me feel like there's a way to operate and it doesn't have to be just led with sex.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Also, I feel like if you're taking a Vakaya vacation, for example, doing this in the beginning of your vacation really makes you feel the gratitude and appreciation for what you're surrounded by. And ideally get more out of it because, like you said, your vibration is like elevated, being so appreciative, and you start attracting those things.
Yes.
to be in the moment. I mean, how many of us go on a Vakaya vacation like this and the week is like, where did it all go?
Yes,
But if you
yes.
can really be in the moment, and that's what Tantra does for me too. I do meditations all the time and just give gratitude for being in the moment, and I set intentions, and I remember all of them as the day goes by, so that at the end of the week, hopefully,
Right.
I have all these little experiences that didn't just seem like it raced by.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And for people at home that might live in more of an area where this kind of stuff is not as accessible, is there something that you would recommend as like a way to introduce yourself? Like, you know,
Is there a will version in like Connecticut or like?
or like,
There
you know,
can
like,
be.
is there a way that they can kind of find, or ways that you would recommend in someone introducing themselves to the practice of Tantra?
Yes, absolutely. So there's a wonderful book that introduces people to Tantra, also gives you some practical exercises and rituals that you can do both by yourself or with partners, and explains it in real layman's terms. The book is called Urban Tantra.
Okay.
And it's written by a woman named Barbara Corellis, who's an amazing Tantra teacher.
Oh.
And then there's also 2 online schools, and they also have a live presence, and they
Oh.
teach all around the world.
Wow.
One of them is the Body Electric School,
Okay.
Oh, right.
and you can find out about them by going to bodyelectric.org.
Okay.
And then Tantra for Gay Men, Tantra the number 4 Gay Men.com, and that's another wonderful school that has workshops and seminars and retreats. And I did their Tantra teacher training program, which is one of the few ways that people can actually get formally trained
Yeah.
to teach and practice, and they offer that as well as Tantra coaching courses. And so yeah, both of those and that
That's
book
great.
are a great way to kind of get your feet wet.
That's amazing.
This episode is brought to you by this beautiful sponsor.
Introducing Gym Support by Fetish Locker, your one-stop shop for the bold, the brave, and the bendy. Are you craving superior craftsmanship? A sling that's as durable as your desires? They don't just meet expectations. We tie, bind, and suspend them. Our mission? Simple. Gear designed for people who know hot sex and demand great design. We're here to support you, literally. Whether you're building a dungeon, upgrading your playroom, or just want to hang out in style, we've got your back and front and sides. Ready to swing into action? Gym Support by Fetish Locker. Buy online and save 15% with promo code FAKAYA15.
And did you know much about Tantra before having Will on the podcast?
A little bit. Some of it I had incorporated already into my daily practice. I practice yoga, and that helps being in the moment. But it's with Will and some other of our guests on our show that have really, educated me, and now I incorporate it all the time. So, yeah.
And for your podcast, you've crossed kind of a milestone of like, what is it, 600?
600, yeah.
Yeah,
We're at 612, but yeah.
600 episodes. And during the course of your podcast, the Tags podcast, talk about gay sex, what have been some of your like highlight, like if someone were to take a listen to your podcast, are there certain episodes or topics that you feel like come to mind where you're like, oh,
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great ones with health, and we've had a great proctologist. I know you're having one on your show.
Yeah.
We have Dr. Goldstein. I know Will knows
Amazing.
Dr. Goldstein. And our butt and gut health is what he talks about. And that, you could just listen to any of those. They're listed there.
Amazing.
You'll get for bottoming, but it's also really good for the tops to learn about. And then just jump in. I wouldn't say, a lot of people are like, should I start from one? You have so many. I'm like, no, just start where we're at. Because now we do a lot of hot topics
sure.
based on our LGBTQ
Right.
community, related to health, related to just fun topics that we are,
Passionate
breaking
about.
it down for everybody. So I would just jump in now. And
Yeah.
yeah.
You can always work your
anyone
way
with
back.
Will, he's been on a couple episodes. He's
Love
going to
that.
be we talk about Tantra. That would be another one.
Yeah.
And I'm an avid listener, and now you said start with where you are.
Yeah.
But I binge listen to it while I'm doing yoga, so now I'm going back.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Ones
Yep.
and learning a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they talk a lot about current events in the gay community, not even sexually
Right.
related.
Yeah.
But and political issues that are happening in our community, and
Well, it's
so
like
entertaining and
yeah.
educational, and yeah.
Well, it's like what you were saying. You can't be having sex in a 24-hour period every hour. If you're lucky, if you were really horny, it might be a couple hours here and there. But amongst our sexuality, we are ingesting news. The
Yeah.
news politics affect our sexuality.
Yeah.
We want to know what a certain artist is doing, and what did they say? Are we mad at them right now? Did Janet Jackson say something that we didn't like? I mean, it happened. She did. I know. And I forgive her, but yes.
She did what she said.
She questioned, I hate her talking about Kamala's, whether or not she was black or not.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And I'm a huge Janet fan. I know.
That was my response.
I know, but I'm a huge fan. But see, that's the beauty of our show.
Yeah, you talk
is
about
that
this.
even when I'm a huge Janet Jackson fan. I've gone to every concert, but I'm not afraid to call out even a Janet
Yeah.
Jackson, as much as obviously the name we won't mention.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nothing's off the table. We call everybody out. It's fun to talk with my host about this. And then we get into sex and relationship, health, advice. And we love giving advice on the show.
Yeah,
So,
well, and that's part of the evolution of getting to have done something for 600 episodes. Is like what you initially, it might have started out as this baby idea. You're allowing it to continue to grow and evolve.
Yeah, right.
And ideally is hopefully similar to Tantra, and like how every time you're teaching somebody new, you're also, I'm sure, getting something out of it as an
Absolutely.
educator.
Yeah, I learn, and I do one-on-one and work with couples as well in person. And when people come, they are different every time,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I bet.
you know?
Because all of these other factors go into play of like
Life
where you're going to be
happens.
at.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And, you know, tying it back to Vakaya, having a Tantra workshop or the red light district, these are all things and ideas that have evolved from when they started. And it's really exciting that we're at a point now where they're starting to feel way more fleshed out. And you're having, when we started in 2019, I don't know if the response to a Tantra workshop would have been what it has been. And it's the same with the red light district. You know, if it was pouring rain on the first trip, I don't know if there would have still been people out there wanting to like, I mean, who knows? There were probably some, but maybe not to that
Especially
same
the
extent.
younger generations as well, I think, who haven't
Yes.
experienced cruising. So you're right. It
Yeah.
is.
Oh,
Fleshed out is a good term. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like truly thank you for being a part of like helping Vakaya evolve in ways that the company really wants to evolve, which is being more sex progressive and it not being like a shameful thing, that this is an integral part of what makes Vakaya hopefully at some point not as unique, but in this moment it's very unique for it to be as celebrated. So yeah, so thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, and we have one last thing we want to do.
Hi, my name is Trevor Dow, and this is Work the Position, a fun game where I am going to say sexual positions, and Steve and Will here are going to have 30 seconds to guesstimate what that position is. You ready, boys?
Right.
We're ready. Let's do it.
The first position is the pretzel. 30 seconds.
Okay. Right. And then I get one arm under.
And then this.
Yeah.
And then we would essentially like this.
Yeah.
They didn't even need 30 seconds. That is the pretzel.
Oh, yeah, pretty close, right? Yeah.
The next position is heir to the throne.
Heir to the throne. I think we need our shirts off for this one. For sure.
30 seconds.
You have to sit on the chair.
Okay.
Because you're on the throne, like the king. Straddle, or would it be the other way?
I think.
Okay, is that your final guesstimate of heir to the throne? Is this our
This
final?
is final answer.
Okay, heir to the throne looks like that.
Wow.
A little more oral. A little more.
It's
Yes.
more like this.
The next one is called the lazy man. 30 seconds.
Somebody, person on top.
Oh,
The lazy man is just
and then I'm
back, doing all the work. You got to do all the
and then
work.
I do all the.
Our final position?
Yeah, we're going with this.
Close. The lazy position.
You're really lazy. Yeah.
This is the super lazy man. Okay, next one. The stairway to heaven. Ding, ding, ding.
It feels like I'm at Stairway to Heaven right now, so I don't care what the picture is.
The stairway to heaven is?
What?
Okay. So it's literally on stairs.
Yeah, like sitting, but like,
I love it.
like it's almost like a reverse cowgirl, but you're like sitting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you, I feel like
Honorable mention.
one of my favorites, reverse cowboy.
I think
Okay.
we might need to go down to our.
Oh.
I mean, okay.
Ooh,
What you
okay.
got on there?
I know, not much, but I knew we were gonna do that.
He was wearing green because of the green party.
Okay, so you lie down,
Okay.
because this is
Like
one of
this?
my favorites.
I did yoga
today. Yes, please. And then I'm gonna get.
Oh yeah, and this is reverse.
And this is
Yeehaw.
reverse cowboy. In this case, reverse cowboy, baby. Giddy up, giddy IA.
Yeah.
I'd say this is a win-win. And we'll all see you a little bit later for the next episode of BTV. We've got something to get to, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Wow, that was steamy.
I'm sweating. Muy caliente.
What did you learn from this talk with Steve and Will and this beautiful interview?
I definitely learned a lot of positions by
Yes.
playing our game.
Yeah, right.
I love playing games with our guests this season.
It's just fun.
Yeah, it's just fun. And so I definitely learned a lot of positions. And I also learned that like Tantra, I think, is something I've had one real Tantra experience before in my life with a guy that like that's what his kind of thing was. And I really enjoyed it. I love the element of drawing out when you allot a certain amount of time or like no boundaries when it comes to time with someone to just kind of like fool around and explore. And so I think that like the idea of like going into a Tantra kind of workshop with someone for a few weeks would be really fun and really cool.
Oh, yeah. What I learned from them is I just love how they talk about and are so open about what their interests are and how to have those conversations, because I wasn't taught that. So it makes me feel more empowered to bring that into my personal life.
Communication.
That's the word.
Communication is key.
You're right. Thanks for joining us in this episode of VTV.
Okay.
Wait, is there anything else you want to say? Or?
I don't know. Do you want me to say anything else? So next week's episode is going to continue on the spicy train, where we interview a couple of guests that we had at our Mexico resort trip who turned up the heat, baby.
It's going to be spicy and hot.
So we will see you next time for another spicy episode of VTV.